All right, stage 6, the main event, 2020 Formula One Pirelli British Grand Prix. All right, the Alfa Romeo edition. We're continuing on here. And the first goal is we are starting, of course, in pole position to our strong showing from previous qualifying stage. And this one, they ask you to finish at least third. And no off track, no damage. And yes, we're gonna have to manage, they call it managing your tires. So the dealing with the fading grip. So we got 3 first laps that we're gonna have to pull off. And I'll block off Hamilton on the inside. Because, he's got the fastest acceleration, I think, in the group. So block him off earlier on, take the lead, and then try to run away with it as much as you can at the beginning. I always say while the grip is still there, you want to try to get away as much as you can. And it looks like we got Verstappen taking over Hamilton. Look at that. While the grip is there and the traffic is clear, we can take cops flat out. So, and remember, the Alfa Romeo is the one with the lowest grip amongst 10 teams. So the C39, right, has the lowest grip, slowest acceleration, longest braking distance. So, this car does have a lot of deficit to overcome, but the strength, of course, amongst all of them for this one, the Alfa Romeo does come out on top when it comes down to the top speed. So, certain aspects, that can be very beneficial. But lower grip generally means the car is not going to be as forgiving as some others, right? In your cornering aspect of the racing, like how well you steer, right? Versus let's say on the other side of the spectrum, like Mercedes AMG, their deficit, if you will, is the lowest top speed, but everything else they are on top of. So I feel like, when you have a higher grip and best or highest grip in the group, and the shortest acceleration time, I feel like that can come into a little bit more forgiving. You don't have to be as precise. So, yeah, because most tracks, we don't typically, end up taking advantage of the top speed on most cars. So, and once again, Mercedes having that shorter braking distance means you can push deeper into these corners versus even though there's a bit more headroom for high speed on Alfa Romeo, how far we can push into these corners, because braking is a little bit softer on this one, C39. So, in a way, I'm wondering if that will kind of cancel out the higher top speed this guy has. Although so far, it's looking pretty good, and Verstappen has caught up pretty darn close, I did make some separation. Whoa! That was close. I'm gonna have to let him go. That mistake. Beckett costed me a place. But, thankfully, the goal does not require us to actually win. We only need to finish third, and second place finish is better than third. So I will take that. Second place finish, 4:15.621. And for those 3 laps, we pick up some 620 driver XP. All right. Obviously, if we finished first, what we earned would be greater, but you know what? I'll take the goal completion. These managing tire goals are stressful. All right, on to the next challenge here. And this one is where we gotta just tailgate. We don't necessarily have to draft, right? So just tailgate, stay behind the other opponent for 2 minutes. And we do have to finish third, so we will have to overtake one of these guys. And once again, the goal is, my strategy is pretty, consistent here. Try to stay as close to the, I guess, P2. In my case, it's going to be Valtteri. As close as I can, get that tailgating part of the challenge done early on while the grip is still somewhat intact. And at the beginning of this race, I ended up hitting Max Verstappen. It was not intentional. It was a bit of a scuffle. And sometimes you can come out without taking penalty, essentially, for causing an accident. So apparently there was not enough contact to cause damage, which would disqualify me right away, since that is part of the challenge here. Whoa, that was pretty close on Cop's corner. Alright. That's pretty fast around the whole Maggots and Beckett's and Chapel curve. Alright. So we got some 74 seconds, 75 seconds. Alright. And we got 2 more laps after this, but my grip is down to 34% and counting down, so I'm gonna have to try to get as much of the tailgating done earlier versus later, because I feel like that grip counter is, it's like a time bomb. Once it goes down to 0, it's gonna be very, very difficult to try to stay behind, really, Team Petronas. Their cars do have that faster acceleration. Look at them take off. Kinda lost him there. The Luffield, that's super close. Really tight cornering around Luffield, the cops. And alright, we caught him, and can we catch up? We did build up just a couple more seconds of tailgating. Now we just need like 2.5 seconds more, and now that the grip is down to 0, so it does always make me very nervous. Alright, so a little bit of, looks like a little bit of maybe a couple of seconds of off track they are allowing. Alright. And then now we got the 120 seconds. Whew. We'll just try to hang on to P3 and fend off Albon. Alright, yeah, the cornering is much looser now. Can't quite take those corners as confidently. And yeah, no way I'm gonna take cops flat out. I have to let up on the gas a bit. And this is where I lost to Verstappen in the previous challenge, so we'll try to keep that relatively conservative. I feel like I don't need to push too hard. Check back on where about Albon is. I think we have P3 secured as we come to that final chicane. Don't mess it up. There we go. And there, just like that. Alright, these fading grip challenges, they're stressful. Alright, and we earn 666 driver XP for that one. And 26,300 motorsport dollars. Alright, finishing third. Of course, payout is little lower. Alright, that does put the car in critical condition, so get that serviced immediately. And let's continue on to goal 3 of stage 6 here. And once again, we're continuing to lose grip, right? So even more so with this fading grip challenge. And this one, average speed. The target number is 244 kph, and we have to finish at least P5. We're starting in P3, so in fact we're starting more like P2. And if we have to keep up that top speed, I think we'll have a pretty decent showing in terms of ranks, since I am chasing down Hamilton. Maybe, and I did cross that 244 average target speed threshold just a little bit as I was heading into Abbey, or past Abbey. Okay. The grip pistol. Alright. Lap 1. I think this is really time to push hard, but as you can see, that low acceleration really hurts. So we'll have to take cops flat out, try to catch up, and then maybe catch a little bit of drafting. There we go. And alright, we got the average speed above the target. And I could stay behind, but I don't want to clash or crash into Hamilton and get disqualified here, so I'll just let him stay in the front. Whoa. And that's the longer braking distance on Alfa Romeo, kind of causing a bit of panic there. Alright, so we crossed that finish line with a pretty decent margin on of a little decent buffer on the speed, average speed, and through the slowest sector, the village section and the loop, we didn't go below the target, so this one is looking pretty promising, and we still have 62% grip left on these tires. So okay, Luffield, okay, we're a little below the target, but I mean, this is where we're gonna build up our fastest speed, so I'm not too concerned. And once again, we'll go flat out for cops. With the above 50% grip, I'm feeling pretty confident. And I don't think, yeah, I definitely don't have what's needed to overtake Hamilton, especially with the, lacking in acceleration. But that's okay. We're only asked to finish P5, right? So we don't want to mess it up now, so a little bit earlier braking to allow ourselves a little bit more of a track to work with. And there we go. P2 finish. 2 minute 56.176. And for that, we earn 445 driver XP and some 19,150 motorsport dollars. All right. And that will cost me a few service bars, as you would expect. But that is 3/4 way through this stage, so let's continue on. The final goal to wrap up stage 6. Alright, and this one, our stats are just affected all around, so we have to place P5. Well, we don't necessarily have a fading grip, but overall, like, we have like pretty damaged car, let's just say. So we are starting at P5, so we just really need to defend our position. And looks like I'm defending it against Vettel. And of course finish the lap under minute 27.9, which under normal circumstances is like an eternity. But I think my acceleration is affected, the braking distance is affected, and the grip is also affected by this in this challenge. So they're all compromised, if you will. So, all right. We're getting a little push from Vettel, so that might be something that's going to help. And around tops, we do lose Vettel. That seems to be a fairly common trend. So they brake, especially if you cut off the inside lane. I think they take the caution, the really cautious line. And just like that, we lost him. So defending P5, I think, is pretty secure. Now, can we wrap up the rest of the track under 12, 11 seconds? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 seconds and counting. Yeah, I think we got this one. Just under 1 second left on the clock. Oh yeah. And they are counting the pre-lap time as well, so it shows up as minute 38 and change. P5 finish doesn't pay out as much in rewards, so just 7,100 motorsport dollars and 450 fame points. All right, so the bottom of the first page of the ranks, P5. All right, so yeah, lots of red bars in that stats page there. But we are continuing on here to wrap up yet another stage, stage 6, which leaves us with just one final stage, stage 7, where there are 5 goals. And that's the goal where the stage where with the other teams I needed to put the tunings on. Now with this, I already put the tunings on. Hopefully that's going to be enough. We'll find out in the final stage. So stay tuned. See you then.